So this is a really brilliant device, and I'm going to talk about it for a little bit because very rarely do I ever interact with injection molded parts, but when I do and they're well designed, I really want to give them credit. So for some context, this is for holding 3 orange bottles. Kirkland Signature at Costco has orange juice, which has 3 bottles put into this collar that are all held right there. Now, this has several, actually many brilliant features in it that I just want to highlight, and also kind of Costco's way of going about it. This is made by a company named Durapack, and they have their stamp PackTech. I apologize. PackTech. And this is a patented design that they have that has so many interesting, curious little features in it. I just want to highlight it. The reason I noticed this is because I buy orange juice fairly regularly, and this is not the normal color that has always been on the Kirkland Signature orange juice. The normal color on the Kirkland Signature orange juice is generally kind of a flat sheet with the 3 holes cut inside of it, and you would have to grab it around here so that one bottle is up there, one bottle is right there, and one bottle is hanging down off the end. The dirty little secret of this old version was the fact that that bottle down on the end would very often pop out because there was just too much leverage on it to where it could pop through its little collar right there, which was terribly irritating and terribly frustrating. But we'll come back to that in just a minute. This one, as you may notice, the very first interesting little feature is that each one of these little collars has this gap on the outer side. This allows the whole assembly to rotate around the bottle. So you have the bottle shoved through here, the whole assembly rotates around it. This one has 2 of them, both on both sides, so that the rest of the assembly can rotate around the bottle. And then this one mirrors it, of course. That is very good engineering in order to make sure that all the bottles have flexibility relative to all the rest of them without potentially falling out or kinking the actual retaining ring. The other part is you might see these outer rectangles right here. If held just like this, and with multiple bottles in them, you now have a handle. So people are actually able to carry the 3 bottles in a perfectly symmetrical fashion so that they do not fall out. They're able to all hold evenly at the exact same level, which was never possible before because, again, like I said, you'd have to grab the old one right here and carry them along. So just a beautiful little addition. You might also notice that this one is fairly sleek and skeletal, and that is an improvement. The old one used to be basically a solid strip of plastic, which used more plastic than what this one currently does, even though this one does so much more. And if you want to go deeply into the design of this from an injection molding standpoint, there are so many interesting little features of these handles. You may notice there's a small ridge right here, but it disappears out into this strip and then reappears over here. This is a reinforcing ridge that could have gone all the way around. The engineer could have been lazy and just allowed it to extend to there, but again, it would have used more material. So why have it there? So they removed it just to remove that half gram, that 1 gram of material, so that over thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of these being made, they saved that much more plastic. The rigidity of the part is held together by the actual curvature of the pieces here. It appears to be quite thick, but it is just from the curvature. It is all quite thin, but it's held in shape by this center square, giving much more rigidity at these medial parts. So it's not simply flexible, they can actually serve as spacing. And then even more, on these flexural parts right here, you can see that the plastic has been thickened with another little support rib in order to ensure that this does not fatigue during the life and the moving of the bottles. This is just fantastically beautiful engineering all the way through. But let me bring this all the way home for you. With the old version, there used to be a barcode sticker right along here. There is no sticker on this one. There's no sticker anywhere on this at all. There is just the patent number and the device itself. But the orange bottles, historically, before up until a couple weeks ago when I was pulling them out, used to have the 3 bottles, each one of them has a barcode. If you scanned the barcode on one of the bottles, the machine itself checkout would say, no, you can't, that's not a correct barcode. And you would have to try to flip these 3 bottles over with your 2 hands and scan the barcode on the top of this. Costco, in their infinite wisdom and people whining about all of this, decided to eliminate the barcode on the top of the strip and allow you update the software in the system so that the data passed through that the individual SKU barcode would still be attributed to the set, regardless of which one of the bottles, which each has a unique identifier code. Whichever one of them you scanned would automatically scan as a set of 3 inside of Costco, which is not a trivial data science kind of a problem. Not data science, but programming sort of a problem. But Costco did it. They went from the very simple solution of simply having a barcode up here that people ergonomically couldn't deal with, but they realized that, oh, the bottles are falling out of the top, we'll need to get a new top, and while we're getting a new top, let's also eliminate that barcode scanner there so that people don't have to flip the stack of flexible bottles over sideways and scan it at the checkout. Because they probably had a decent amount of orange juice spilt on a few scanners to where they didn't want to have to deal with it anymore. But this is just fantastic engineering to really radically solve a bunch of problems with holding 3 orange juice bottles together, and it is commendable to see an organization like Costco realize that there is a flaw in the system and just polish out that little bit of friction so that when I grab my orange juice, all I have to do is grab the handles and haul it out of there, scan the barcode on the side of the bottles as I go along, and then move on with my life. Very good engineering, very good product design. It's awesome to see it in the world. Comment down below if there are other products or simple things that people kind of overlook that you would like to have an explanation of how they're made. Have a great day, everybody.